Now we're at a step that two things happen. Number one, I kind of fibbed to you because watch this part of the sky, watch over here when I turn that on and off, and yeah, there's my daughter. I'm texting her pictures of her cat while the videos render. So this is a dodge and burn layer. And yes, Photoshop has dodge and burn tools, but they're totally destructive. This allows us to paint. And I'm going to show you, since we've not talked about, you can follow the conversation with my wife and my daughter here. So I'm not showing you this in this series of print videos. I'm going to show you how this was done because there's a couple little tricks here. So how to make this layer and target the dodge and burn inside the blurred edge, because I don't want to touch that blurred edge. Here's the strategy that I use. There's always different ways to do it. Go ahead and option click down here on the cropped original. Now if I want to select this object, all I have to do is come over the thumbnail, hold down the command key, and left click. That adds a selection. The marching ants are moving around that selection. Then I can come up, I can option click again in order to turn everything back on, and you can see the selection's still here. And if you look at that, it's affecting, ooh, I should have contracted this. Half a pixel. This is a step 1 pixel. If I contracted this, if I go select, modify, contract 1 pixel, and we're not applying it at the canvas bounds, we'll just click OK. That would have been my smart move. Hit Command 0 to move out here, and we'll go ahead and work with this because that is the way you should work. I didn't think to zoom in, which would have been a lot smarter. Now, up with the clarity level layer active, I'm going to make a new layer. Shift, Option, Command, N. And then with this selection still active, I'm going to add a mask. And that mask ensures that nothing I do happens outside. That black is going to cover it up. But I don't want to get sloppy, and I wanted to protect that edge. So I'm going to come back over here and then hold down Command and click to make sure that's selected. Hit B for brush, D for default colors, and I painted with 15% down here, and I need to be on this layer right here, so I'm painting on it. Now, remember how I showed you to make the brushes larger, smaller? The control option, left makes it smaller, right makes it bigger, down makes it harder, up makes it softer. And I just picked a small brush, and then when I paint, if you paint over and over and over with a low opacity, you don't darken. You just, the first pass is all that affects anything. And then if I let go and then click and paint again, then you darken. For the sky, I lowered this down to 5%, which is crazy low. But anything over that, I wasn't digging what I was getting. So make this brush a little smaller and just lightly touch just a couple areas, just a little bit, and maybe a touch there. And that's about it. So here's what oh, silly me. None of that worked because look what I did. See this? I forgot to fill with 50% gray. And the cool thing about this method, if you screw up with a regular dodge and burn layer, you got to start over. If you screw up with this kind of dodge and burn layer, all you do is hit Shift Delete, Edit Fill with 50% gray, click OK, change the blend mode to overlay, which ignores 50% gray, and then with our default colors, and I've got my 5% for the sky, Then I can click and do my little magic here. Make this brush larger. See, that's the cool thing about this type of work. Now we're not getting that. I wondered why that was so intense, that color. It's because I was painting with black right over the top of this, which is crazy. That's not what I wanted to do at all. I did darken that up a little bit, and over there just on the edge, a little fake vignette. So if I turn that off and this on, you see what I ended up with. And it's going over and over. It's playing with this. And yeah, I painted some more here and went back and forth until I arrived at a result. I'm at Command D to deselect that I was happy with. And this spot darken, you can also paint with white to lighten with a low opacity, and it lightens areas. So the dodge and burn, fake dodge and burn layer with 50% gray and an overlay blend mode allows you to do some really cool stuff. And that's how we ended up with this spot darkening of certain areas.